Hello, one and all. This is Baka&Co, a show where we talk about all things anime and manga, from news to reviews and everything in between. I am your host, Frankfurter, and with me is my co-host, the marginally aware one, Magically Average. Today we are going to talk about Teppen Episode 2 being cancelled, the legacy of Yu-Gi-Oh!, and more. But before we do that, Magically Average, it's been a downer of a news week this week. It's nothing really uplifting has happened this week. How are you?
Yeah. I was gonna compliment you on my name being like the first somewhat accurate name you've ever described me as. Like, so I was like, props to you. Very
I don't.
good.
What was the something apple bottom one is still probably my favorite.
Yeah, yeah, that was a good one. That was a good
Mm-hmm.
one. I did enjoy that, but no, this past week was honestly it was news story
Rough.
after news story after like just I wanted to stay away from social media, but at the same time, because we do this podcast, I'm like, well, better add another one to the list of topics to talk about. So it's
Yeah.
yeah, it's a rough one, but I mean, upside we have summer 2022 shows beginning, so there's
Yeah.
some bright spots,
Oh yeah.
but
And we'll get into summer 2022 shows here shortly, but just want to see how you're doing. Well, I guess
how are
we are
you?
going
How
to
are you
technically.
doing? I've never asked you how you're doing.
Yeah, you
How are you
never,
doing,
because you never care
Mr.
about me. It's
Host?
okay.
Well, it's because you just steal the spotlight and you want it all to yourself. You greedy little goober.
No, I'm doing well. As you, I didn't really particularly want to be on social media just for the fact that just one stupid thing after another kept happening this week. And we'll cover a few of them. We're not going to cover everything. But I mean, me personally, I'm doing well. I got caught up on a majority of the shows that I wanted to this week. I think there's two, maybe three out there that I still need to watch. But besides that, I finally caught up on the physical, excuse me, what's out physically for Witch Hat Atelier. I don't know how you actually pronounce it.
I never know how to either.
I thought it was Atelier, but then people just pronounce it other ways, and I don't know. But I caught up on that manga series as to what's out physically, so 9 volumes. And honestly, if you need a Harry Potter experience without supporting J.K. Rowling, this is it. Like, it is, like, I cannot give it enough recommendation. It is so good. The world is amazing. It's simple but amazing. The characters are not necessarily the deepest, but they have like a lot of growth in the like short little bit that I've been with them, and the arcs that we've gone through have been very interesting. It's I don't want to spoil it. All I'll say is if you enjoy Harry Potter and just magic, go read this series. It's fantastic, and
Yeah.
it's won many like different awards. In 2020 it won the Will Eisner Award, which is he was a famous Disney artist. It won like, I forget what category it won specifically. I know it tied with another series, but it's very good. Just go read it.
I was
But
gonna say like my biggest thing about it is the art. It's got some of the most unique art that I've seen in a manga in a while. Like next to um the creator's name is escaping me right now, but the person that wrote Dorohedoro and Die Dark, like that type of really unique, bespoke type of style that you don't see replicated all that much. That's what Witch Hat is. It's like it's really, really pretty. But the story is one of the most interesting I've read in a while too. So highly, highly recommend if you're looking for a new series. And I actually have to get caught up because I think I'm only through volume 6. So ooh, got
yeah,
some catching up to
it's
do.
it's very good, and it only gets better as you read on. So, but yeah, we're gonna hop right into it because we do have a lot to talk about, despite it being somewhat negative. But we're gonna start with news story number one. Teppen episode 2 has been canceled. Article comes from Crystalline Hodgkins at Anime News Network. The official Twitter account for Teppen Laugh Till You Cry anime revealed on Friday that the staff has canceled the airing of the show's second episode due to, quote, various circumstances. The first episode was re-aired on July 9th, and the show's third episode will air on July 16th. There's been no news as to if or when episode 2 will come out, And the update on the article, and this is probably why it probably will not come out until maybe the DVDs, is that an update was an introduction to episode 2 was discovered and reads as follows. The aspiring comedian Yomogi Takahashi was returning from a morning run when she comes across an Ima Wish tablet near her dormitory's entrance. She tells her comedy partners Yayoi and Yuzu, and they discover text on the back of the tablet that can be read as "I've decided to assassinate the president tonight at 8." This comes after the assassination of Japan's former PM, Shinzo Abe.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So, for those of you who don't know, yeah, Japan's former PM was assassinated at a news conference, and this is a good reason to cancel an episode and not air. It's very sensitive. It's a very sensitive topic, and especially over there where crime is pretty low relatively, especially
Like specifically gun violence.
gun violence is very low, and this is just one of those things that it's like horrible timing,
Yeah.
absolutely terrible timing. So they decided to cancel it. They're going to air episode 3 next week and just move on with the show.
Yeah, from what I read in other articles too and what was coming out at the time, I believe episode 2 is canceled indefinitely. So it will never air on TV in Japan. So whether that means that it will go to DVD, we can only find out, but given what happened right around the time that it was supposed to be released, I suspect that they'll just kind of put it in a capsule and lock it away. It's just it's really really unfortunate timing,
Yeah.
but I don't think you can release that because it's gonna just feel very awkward if they do. Even in like DVD or like a hey, here's a bonus episode we couldn't get out live. I would just say no, just keep it locked away. Stuff happens. It's
Well,
unfortunate timing, but
yeah,
yeah.
and as somebody who's watching the show, I'm trying to wrap my head around what they might mean by this. My feeling is that whoever wrote the note that I've decided to do this is, I think their context is gonna be like in the episode it would be misstrewn as, oh my god, there's gonna be a crime happening, with hey, I'm gonna murder him with laughter because this is a comedy. This is literally like people doing stand-up comedy. So I have a feeling that it's just because of the wording and because of that they had to cancel it, which by all means do that. But I feel like that's probably what the premise of the episode would have been. It's just, they don't want to show any poor taste, so they just yanked it.
Yeah. I
So,
it was probably something along the lines of like another group was formulating a comedy skit and that was maybe the premise of it.
yeah.
I have no idea, but yeah, very sad news too. The former prime minister Shinzo Abe was the longest running prime minister in Japan too before he vacated his cabinet, I believe. For the current prime minister, who unfortunately I don't know. So yeah, very unfortunate news. But yeah, it's very odd to see. I shouldn't say it's odd to see, but it's one of those situations where like an anime goes for what is potentially like a real world event that could take place. Like
Yeah.
assassinations aren't anything new, but it's just one of those situations where they're trying to utilize some real world event as a premise
Yeah.
for the episode, and it just happens that that event takes place
In their
in the country, right, in the home country. So
Mm-hmm.
it's very sad, very unfortunate. But
Yep.
I'm sure they'll get back to the laughing till you cry part, hopefully at some point in these next few
Yeah.
episodes,
Yeah,
because it
cuz
got kind of dark.
I really did enjoy episode 1. So, looking forward to episode 3, but until then, we're going to move on to news story number 2. The creator of Yu-Gi-Oh, Kazuki Takahashi, has passed away. This comes from Luke Plunkett at Kotaku. An autopsy report confirmed that the creator of Yu-Gi-Oh died by drowning on July 6th. In addition to creating the manga, Takahashi, who had some experience in games design, also designed the broad outlines of a card game originally called Magic and Wizards but later changed to Duel Monsters, featured in the series itself, which after popular request was first released in 1999 as an actual trading card game in Japan by Konami, and it blew up. It saw an American release in 2002 and is still popular around the world today. Alongside the manga, which has now sold tens of millions of copies, and card game, which has sold tens of billions of cards, Yu-Gi-Oh! Has also inspired a range of other media appearances, like several long-running anime series, a number of motion pictures, book releases, and of course video game adaptations. The latest Yu-Gi-Oh! Game, Master Duel, released earlier in 2022 on PC, Switch, Xbox, and PlayStation, which at one point was pulling in over 200,000 concurrent players just on Steam alone. Another sad news article, another great leaving us too early. Uh, what is your history with Yu-Gi-Oh? If you have any history at all with Yu-Gi-Oh?
I collected it, I think, right when it came out in the United States. Because 2002, I would have been 7 or 8 years old, and at the time, I was only collecting Pokemon, but wasn't playing any Pokemon. I
Mm-hmm.
watched the anime because the anime came out in the earlier part of the year too. Because I think the anime actually came out before the card game. Because I remember getting the cards and being like, "This isn't how you play the Sword of Revealing Light. That's not what the card reads. This is stupid. Magic Box? What? That's not how it does. That's not how Yugi uses it in his battles." And I was like, "This is so confusing." But yeah, I had played it all up through elementary school into middle school, and then I kind of stopped in high school, I think. But no, that was a huge part. That was the first trading card game that I played that I actually learned to play, and then I tried to play like competitively at my local card stores. Because I was kind of late to the game with Magic the Gathering, and I never learned Pokemon, and I didn't have any friends that knew how to play either. So I was like, oh, I'll just collect them because they're pretty and we like the TV show. But yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh was the first one that I actually learned and built my own decks, went into the card stores, played against sweaty old men that beat me every time because I was like 10 years old and didn't know what I was doing for the most part. But yeah, it was a huge part of my life growing up. So yeah, again, when I saw the news, I was very, very upset. Um, Saw a lot of fan art coming out that was drawn, and that made scrolling through Twitter very hard because it was like, oh, here's some news. Oh, here's fan art from Yu-Gi-Oh. Oh, okay, here comes the waterworks. All right, we're gonna have to skip past this real quick. And oh no, here's another one. Nope, full blown crying. That's okay. It's fine. It's just emotions.
Yeah.
But it's yeah, it is. Dude, this past week is such a bummer. Like going through this, I'm like, oh my god, all this happened in the span of 7 days.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's really sad, and I'm in a very similar boat in which, as a kid, I was on the Pokemon train with the video games, the anime, and collecting the cards. I never played Pokemon for real because who the fuck knew how to play Pokemon
Yeah,
for real as a
no
kid?
one knew growing up. I honestly think
No,
people only started to learn like a couple of years ago.
maybe who knows? But yeah, Yu-Gi-Oh! I'm in the same boat. I bought the cards and my because the show taught you legitimately how to play the card game. I actually got into playing it. I just was a shit deck builder, so I just threw all my like shiny cards and cards that I thought were good into one pile and thought,
Oh yeah.
we'll call this a day. There's no rhyme or reason as to what the fuck is going on here. But yeah, no, me and my buddy growing up, we used to play each other and we used to play each other for keeps. We would put a card on the line as to betting like who would win, and we'd play for keeps. And I don't remember exactly what I all lost, but I do think I think I won a pot of greed off of him. Either a pot of greed or a fusion off of my buddy. And
Oh, okay.
like yeah, we would
Nothing too. You're
no, but they were
not like
still
putting up
rare
a Buster
cards.
Blader,
No, we weren't doing that. We weren't doing like Dark Eyes.
Twin Double Dragon. Dude,
Yeah, what?
I
Sorry,
still
Dark
remember some of these old cards.
is Red Eyes Black Dragon.
Blue Eyes White
I
Dragon.
Blue Eyes White Dragon, Dark Magician Girl, Toontown. Toontown, I think I won off of him.
The
I think I won
tune
Toontown.
Dude,
That card was over fucking powered.
that tune set was the most broken stuff
It was
ever.
great.
That
Yeah,
was wonderful.
so yeah, I'm in the same boat. Just seeing everything just after the events, just absolutely gut wrenching. It was. Granted, I haven't been in the Yu-Gi-Oh community or done anything Yu-Gi-Oh related since I was a kid. So it like me wanting to go back to the source material, probably not. But I mean, it sucks that part of your childhood is just like kind of gone for all
Yeah.
intents and purposes. The creator behind your one of your biggest childhood memories is just no longer, which sucks. But I mean, it just sometimes it is what it is. Life goes, in a direction you don't expect. But
Yeah. You look
we
at
are
the
gonna move
positives, right? What an impact they had on our lives.
exactly,
So,
exactly. I mean, dude, tens, freaking
oh,
tens of
when
billions of cards. Are you
so
kidding?
I honestly think it's up closer to like trillions. I mean, this series, the card game alone is crazy. There's I go to every time I go to my local trading card store, I'm like, there's another Yu-Gi-Oh set out. One just came out like yesterday. They're just constant. It's
Yeah.
crazy how big the craze like it is still just as popular today as it was when it first came out, I think. It's that crazy.
Yep. But we're gonna get to something a little bit more on a lighter note. We have more updates on who will be on who will be at Crunchyroll Expo from the Crunchyroll blog. We've gotten an update as to who and what guests we'll have to look forward to at the Crunchyroll Expo in August. In I believe, is it San Diego, California? I believe is where they're at. I don't know. They're somewhere in Southern
Oh,
California.
yeah.
I didn't do that research. That's my bad. Anywho, but the short announcement includes Mappa CEO Manabu Otsuka. Sorry, I'm terrible with pronunciations. We're trying to get through this. Mappa's executive producer and rights management director Makoto Kimura, president and co-founder of Studio Bones, Minami Masahiko, and English voice actresses from the popular series Spy X Family or Spy Family, Natalie Van Sistine, aka Your Forger, and Megan Shipman, aka Anya Forger. Also announced this week is that at not Anime Expo, Crunchyroll Expo, they will have the world premiere screening of Mob Psycho 100's third season. So
Ooh.
yeah, just that last bit alone has me excited. The fact that like God, I wish I could be there to go see my boy Mob in action because I absolutely adore Mob Psycho 100. That I think I gave the first season a 9 and the second season a 10 out of 10 because honestly the second season is better than the first. It's such a great freaking show. So for it to get a third season, I'm super excited. I know that there's not a lot of content left in the like original manga, so I don't know
Hmm.
what they're gonna all do. But nonetheless, still looking forward to it. And the fact that they get the world premieres, I'm jealous as all hell. But I think in other news, I'm really curious as to what Studio Bones is going to be announcing there, because Studio Bones
Uh,
they've done a decent bit of work in the past few years, and I'm like escaping me now as to what they've done.
well,
I'm looking it up. Oh, they're My Hero Academia.
I'm wondering if they're mostly there for Mob Psycho 100 because they do their Mob Psycho 100, Bungo Stray Dogs, Space
Oh,
Dandy.
why did I
And they
think
might
that Mappa was my Mob Psycho?
I don't know because Mappa
I
does
don't know.
everything.
I guess, and because I guess Mob Psycho 100 freaking goes hard with their animation.
Yeah, Bones is a great studio. No,
Yeah,
I'm I mean, I don't think anyone's surprised that we have the CEO of Mappa and then the EP of Mappa as well joining them because I think it was announced on Twitter, and
I think
I
it was the
don't.
day after their panel or the day of their panel at Anime Expo that they were gonna be at Crunchyroll Expo.
Yeah,
So,
no, they announced it the day of, I think, but I also saw recently, and you can fact check me before I just stick my foot in my mouth, but they did finally announce that there will be another trailer at the Crunchyroll Expo for
um,
Chainsaw Man.
see, I didn't see anything about that. I just know that they were gonna have a Chainsaw Man panel. That's what got announced right after Anime Expo. It's
Yeah.
just the fact that now that we know that the CEO and EP are gonna be there, I'm really, really hoping that this new trailer does have a date. It is confirmed for fall. I really hope so. I don't know if that's gonna be true, but one can hope.
Yeah. Well, we can hope
But
so.
yeah. And I'm wondering what the voice actresses, if they're just going to be doing just a generalized panel about Spy Family or Spy X Family, whichever one you want to call it. I think Yeah, I'm still navigating that water because I like to call it Spy Family, but so many other people I know call it Spy X Family. So I'm curious as to what they'll
Yeah.
talk about, if they're just gonna just have a joking type of panel
Well,
and
I
just do a Q&A, or
I think it'll be just to make sure everyone remembers, like, hey, I know all these great shows are coming out in fall, but second core is coming out in fall for Spy Family as well. Don't forget about us, because
yeah.
they're fighting. The spring season they were sort of at the top. With Love Is War, Rising of Shield Hero, which we both
No,
saw how how
that was
poorly
not
that
at the
did.
top.
That was at the top of people's list at the beginning of the season.
Maybe.
That's yeah. But I mean, like, now they have to fight against Chainsaw Man, they have to fight against Bleach, My Hero, a whole
Mob
bunch of stuff.
Psycho,
Mob Psycho, yeah, like they're going
To
against
Your Eternity, Blue Lock.
yeah.
I was gonna say Uzaki-chan, but no, Uzaki-chan's not gonna. No, that's not gonna take anything
At
away from
least
Spy
listen,
Family.
it's you need a little slice of life sprinkled in there, okay?
I
Um
don't.
So I can give you a quick update if you want. In a
Sure.
recent stream, staff members of Crunchyroll appear to confirm that the latest trailer of Chainsaw Man will debut at this year's Crunchyroll Expo, which will be taking place from August 5th to the 7th in San Jose, California. This written by Evan Valentine from comicbook.com. So whether or not it's like been finalized up in the air, but I think it's sort of spelled itself out from the fact that at the Anime Expo, the MAPPA CEO was like, "It's not. We want it to be perfect. We want it to be pristine, like the best shape and form it can possibly be before showing everyone. Oh, by the way, we will be at Crunchyroll Expo, so
Yeah.
keep an eye out there." I think that sort of lays out their game plan of they wanted to at least get in front of people at the Anime Expo and have. I mean, the fact that the CEO too said all of this as well, that's big. Where they're like, "Hey, we're working hand in hand with Tatsuki Fujimoto. We are like doing everything. He has creative control. We want to make this as you know much adaptable to the source material as possible. We're not going to censor anything. Yada yada yada." Like, from the CEO, that's huge. So I think the fact that they were like, just be patient. We're going to be at Crunchyroll Expo. Hold tight. I think that just sort of shows like there's got to be something. There's going to be
Yeah.
something. I think a trailer is probably to be expected.
Yeah. One can hope, but we'll have to find out in less than a month, because I believe that's like the first weekend of August or first week of August. So
Yeah,
we
we're
will
less
find
than a month
out.
away from that. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna find out very shortly about that. But moving on, have our new dates and announcements, which we did get a lot more this week after Anime Expo. Uh, some of it is just anime related, other manga, etc., etc. So to get through it, we have the 86 fragmental Neoteni. I don't know, maybe Neoteni. We'll just go with Neoteni.
Whatever you want it to be. Yeah.
Sure, that's it. It's the 86 spinoff. It'll end in its third volume coming up. The hero is overpowered but overly cautious manga is going to end in 3 chapters. Bochi the Rock will premiere in October. Me and Roboco will premiere this winter. No Longer Human in Another World is getting an anime adaptation. Doctor Stone New World premieres spring 2023. That comes off the presses of Doctor Stone's like single random episode that'll bridge seasons 2 and 3 together.
Was it a
So
movie or like just an OVA or what was that?
I haven't watched it yet. It's like a 53-minute episode. I'm not. Yeah, it's not a movie. It's not an episode. It's like it's just a extended bridge. I don't know. I think it's kind of like almost like the Demon Slayer just Mugen Train arc, where it's just like, hey, we can't make this into a full season, so we're just gonna stick it in as a movie. But like this is shorter than a movie, so let's just throw it out there.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Huh. All
So
right.
yep. So the new season will premiere spring 2023. Sasaki Miyano anime is getting a film in 2023, which will screen alongside Hirano. Hirano and Kagiura short. I think I pronounced that right. Hopefully, nailed it. Whatever. Moving on. Cells at Work. Code Black's Shigemitsu, which I believe is the author of, or the creator, author, writer, one of the animator for the manga, is launching a new manga in August. Sorry, I butchered that. The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, I threw this in because I love this movie and I saw this. I was like, yeah, I'm throwing this in for my own benefit. The Girl Who Leapt Through Time aired on TV in Japan and earned a 5.9% rating, which, if you don't know what that means 5.9% of the population watched it. Whoever has access to
Correct.
cable, they watched that movie, which, if you have not seen The Girl Who Leapt Through Time, go see it. It's absolutely phenomenal. Um, Moving on from that, I'll try my best so I can pet and pat in another world is getting an anime adaptation. The King of Fighters Shingo side story manga will end with second volume. Bastard Heavy Metal Dark Fantasy second part is getting a second part, which will premiere in September 15th on Netflix.
Wow,
There
that's
is
a fast turnaround.
Yeah, I feel like with Netflix shows, they're pretty quick about it. Just I, hmm, I don't know. I mean, I've
They're not
watched
they're
a
not the
majority
studio
of it.
producing it, right? They're not like it's not like there's the Netflix studios producing it, right?
I'm actually not sure. They might be because whenever you launch it, it says a Netflix original.
Oh, all
So
right. Well, never mind.
I'm pretty sure they are. But yeah, I've watched a majority of it in this season one, and it's horny as hell. it's
I don't want
it's
you
it's
to ever
funny.
judge me for whatever I watch anymore.
It's funny. It's stupid. It's over the top. If you enjoy stupid over the top horny shows, sure, go for it. It's not hentai, but it could be if they like went the step further. But anywho, there's no cure for my brother being around me is getting an anime adaptation. Tokyo Revengers manga tops 65 million in circulation worldwide.
Holy
Shri-
shit,
uh, yeah, I know. 65 mil is
that's
insane. That's
that's
a
huge.
big number.
Yeah. Holy
But then
moly.
again, I don't know how many volumes they have. That goes across all volumes. So take
Yeah.
that with whatever grain
I
of salt
still,
there
but
is.
I still think Tokyo Revengers. Last time I looked on the top 10 list, I think they're in the top 10 for like most manga in circulation, like
Maybe
volumes sold in circulation.
they do have 28 volumes total. So that is a
That's not
lot of volumes.
that's not a ton, but
That's not a
it's a
ton,
good
but
amount.
that's a good
It's a-
chunk. That's
I mean,
over
Komi's up to 20 right now, I think, right? 20 or 20
19. Well, there's 19 in the states. Comey out of the states.
out of the states. I think they're up to like 24 or 25.
25. There are
Yeah.
25 volumes, but
So, you know,
yeah, yeah. No, that's a pretty interesting number. I know people love Tokyo Revengers. I watched part one of this first season, and I enjoyed part one, and then I dropped off part two because too many things bringing me out of it that I was just like, this is stupid. I don't like this anymore. But yep. Moving on, Shangri-La Frontier, crappy game hunger food or crappy game hunter, not hunger. Hunter challenges God tier game. Web novel is getting an anime in 2023. The manga duo Naked Ape are launching a new series called Shonen Psycho, which is pretty interesting. I like just from like the little snippet like of what the cover looks like. It's just like, okay, this looks like a horror type manga. Maybe I'll give this a read or so. I think if I'm also not mistaken, the first 3 chapters are out for free. So if you do want to go read that, just
huh.
do a quick Google search and you can find it. Welcome to the Ballroom. Manga is going on hiatus due to the creator Tomo Takeuchi being currently overworked.
I
So,
love that. I love that explanation. Just it's going on hiatus because he's overworked. Like no, like just like not personal reasons or like
I mean,
just is taking a break. It's like no, I'm drowning in papers. Please help.
I'm sure like some of that has to do with like health reasons as well. It can't,
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
it has to
I just
be.
I
But
like how they like if it was something like this in the U.S. they'd just be like they're taking a hiatus because of reasons. In
yeah,
Japan they're like no,
mental health reasons.
yeah, they're overworked. Give them a break.
So
Let them breathe.
yeah, hey, let him breathe, let him do his thing, and he can come back to the ballroom. So it is what it is. Another super long title for you: The Unreasonable Life of the Wizard Del Rey Curtis.
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 That is
Duh.
literally yeah. It's an yeah.
Yep, I know. Curtis, who was ripped from his world and became a distinguished otaku. Manga is ending August
Disgusting.
5th.
Disgusting
Disgusting, not
otaku. Do you want to
distinguished.
start this again? Do you want to try one more
Maybe.
time?
Yeah, let's try it one more time. The Unreasonable Life of the Wizard Del Rey Curtis, who was ripped from his world and became a disgusting otaku. That manga is ending August 5th. Nailed it. Also
Yeah.
ending on another manga ending on August 5th is Those Snow White Notes, which I watched season 1 of, and it was so-so. It started out great and it fizzled out real bad.
Yeah.
And
You
then
and Lobo had a couple of shows from that season. Like when those like I think that
I
was
think
the same
Tokyo
season as
Revengers
Tokyo
was another
Avengers.
one. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you guys are super high on a couple of shows that just
Yeah.
fizzle at the very end.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it is what it is
It
sometimes.
is what it is.
And then the last announcement for the week, Kaguya-sama will be getting an anime movie as a follow-up sequel to the anime show that I believe it's
Woo!
season 3. So like it's following up season 3 and then they probably have another season after potentially.
I don't know how far into the source material they are. I just know that there is a lot of volumes of manga. There is in the high 20s, I believe, for this series as well. So I'm sure I'm sure they have enough for another season even after the movie. The question is it going to be a two-part to finish it up, or are they going to make it try to fit in a second season after?
I don't know, but 26 volumes is what they have.
Printed in English or total?
26 total. In English they have 23.
Okay.
And looking at chapter titles real quick, it looks like they might be in volume 15.
Okay. So
14. No,
that's
I
pretty
don't know.
good. That's like
Yeah.
five volumes a season right now that they're rolling at. So they might have enough for a movie plus two seasons. I wouldn't doubt that
Yeah.
they might just make it a two core for the fourth season and make that the final. And then they'll
Yeah.
pull an Attack on Titan and be like, "Psych! There's another whole fucking thing.
Haha. But
Get
yep, we'll
ready."
see. I'm sure there will be another season because that show is just so damn freaking popular and good.
Yeah, I
But
think it
speaking of,
won
oh,
Spring Award like for anime of spring or something like that. I want to
I
say.
I
I
think
don't
it's the
know who.
top. I think it's the top rated show. Yeah, as of right now, it is still the top rated show on Mal. It is
Yeah, there's
sitting on top with a 9.15.
there's some organization that gave out like here's our spring awards for shows, and Kaguya-sama won, and I guess it's won seven other awards too, so it's the most awarded show according to their fucking trophy list or whatever. I don't know. I just remember
Yeah,
seeing it pop up and I was like, wow, what a what a great award they won. You won spring 2022 anime
I mean,
voted
hey,
by the fans.
it's gonna be in there for anime of the year. Honestly,
We keep
like
saying that. We keep saying that about shows, but I've got to keep a level head, man. There are so many shows that are airing right now. There's so many shows that are airing in fall. You
I
gotta, you
I
can't.
understand. I understand, but there's no way that a show that is on top of so many different charts, especially just on top of
Frank,
their season
Frank,
specifically, there's no
Frank,
way.
Frank.
It
Have you
doesn't make the.
already
You don't
have you
think it
already
makes the
erased?
nominations?
Have you? Oh no, it'll make the
That's
nominations
what I'm
fine.
saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
No,
saying is that
but
it'll make the nominations. I'm not saying it's gonna win. I'm saying it'll be nominated for
you
anime of
have
the year.
you have the brain of a goldfish, and
I
it's
know.
fine. It's fine. But I'm here to be the voice of reason because I distinctly remember watching a season and I was like, there's no way this dog shit show is gonna ever get award, and it won anime of the year. And it was Attack on Titan for one
Did
of
I
the
say?
worst seasons.
Did I say that it was gonna win?
All I'm saying is you have to keep a level head because even though Kaguya-sama is really, really good, right? Bleach is coming out in fall. You got My Hero in fall. You got Chainsaw Man in fall. That's three shows right there that already are they're not even out yet and they're already fighting for anime of the year, right? You have Spy Family that's kicked ass in spring. All I'm saying is that the universe has a mysterious way of fucking you in the butt for no reason and out of
Ah,
nowhere. So you gotta keep a level head, always be looking over your shoulder. You can't get too comfortable. So while we think right now, yeah, Love is War, that's gotta be at least nominated. A definite runner
yeah,
for anime of the year. The universe might just come out the fucking woodworks and go, I'm about to take you from behind. Get ready. Here comes Bleach and My Hero and Chainsaw Man, and it's gonna rule the world. So
You
that's all
wanna
I'm
you
saying.
wanna you want a hot take before we move on to our next thing?
Absolutely, go for it.
I don't think Bleach will be nominated for Anime of the Year.
I don't think My Hero's gonna be up there either. I mean,
If
as much as the fandom freaks out about every little thing that happens, I the last 3 seasons, or last not three, the last 2 seasons, I'll give it that, have been pretty mediocre. Honestly,
I
like
think with how everybody is hyping it up and like for compared to last season and just what has come out in the past, I think that we're in for something different for My Hero this year. And
I
I
don't
think
doubt
because
that.
of that, I think that it squeaks in as the last nomination. But I don't know much about Bleach. Bleach hasn't been around for so long. It was part of the big three. I guess technically is part of the big three
I
because
was
the
like,
big three is
whoa, that's the hottest
sorry,
of
sorry, sorry,
takes
sorry.
right there.
No, no, no.
Holy
It is part of the
moly.
big three, but it's just it hasn't. When was the last time Bleach aired? Like,
Um, the last
like
episode aired 2011, I think, 2010, right
I'm
around there.
looking it up. 2012,
Was it 2012? Okay, a
March
little bit.
27th, 2012.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a while, but I think it's got that nostalgia factor, right? Where it's like it's all those old original, like the big three people coming back. They're like, ooh, oh boy, all right, I gotta
Can you
get my fix
imagine?
again.
Can you imagine if they just dropped like in the fall if they just dropped like a singular episode of just Naruto, just like a side story or some shit,
Oh,
so the big
do you know
three
how
were
many?
back for one day.
It would be pandemonium. It'd be like riots in the streets.
The otakus lose their shit.
Yeah, the otakus cause mass chaos in major cities around the globe. Why?
God.
Naruto. That'd be an embarrassing article to have
Whoa.
to write about. You're like you're working at
I
the Washington Post or the New York Times. You're like, are you fucking serious? A lot of all the news stories I get otakus rampage in the city streets over a TV show, over some stupid cartoon.
No, what would be hilarious though is that if they did all three come back somehow, some fucking miracle, they all come back. And then they take over like Times Square, like one of them is on each corner of Times Square. They're all in
Oh my god.
Shibuya, like all the big intersections of the world, like all those billboards. They're just up there, just like mean mugging or some shit. That'd be ridiculous. That'd be hilarious. It's never gonna happen. I'm sorry I
All right.
got all your hopes up. We're moving on to summer
No,
20. We're
no.
what? What?
I wanted to ask a question. Fine, we can move on. This
No,
would
no, no,
take
no,
it
no, no,
too
no, no,
long.
no. We've got time. What do
All
you
right.
want?
What is your current big three? If you had to create a
Oh,
big three, so from the basically when, because the big three is Bleach, Naruto, and One Piece, right? Those are the considered the big three.
yeah.
Yeah, One Piece is still going on, so we'll exclude One Piece. But
It's part of the old big three. What would be the new big three?
right, yeah. So like we'll say 2012 forward because 20 Naruto stopped before Bleach, I think, because there was the spinoff of
I
Boruto and
think it
whatever.
was after.
Whatever. We'll say over the last 10 years, what is our new big three? What are
Yeah,
the three shows
Naruto,
that
Naruto ended
define
in 2017, my dude.
Oh, 2017? Oh my god, it went that long? Jesus.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Well,
Naruto fans.
Shippuden did.
Oh, yeah, because yeah, oh, that's fair.
Can't
But yeah,
forget about
what is the
that.
current big three?
Current big three, I would say My Hero. Like it as much as you want to naysay it, like it absolutely is. It honestly, you can argue that it brought anime back into the mainstream.
Yeah, no,
There's an
that's no doubt.
argument there for that. Um, I would say also Jujutsu Kaisen. It's while it only has one season, the impact that that season has had and what the manga has done, like with the numbers it's done and the trajectory it's on in the movie, and I would absolutely say that would be number two, and then number three would be Demon Slayer. Like
That's an interesting list.
it it's the one that makes the most sense.
So I'm gonna go a different route, and you're gonna think I'm crazy. Okay, so bear
You're
with
gonna put
me.
Attack on Titan on there, aren't you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I think mine would be
I
because
mulled that one
I'm
over.
because yours are like Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer are like only 2 years old. Like for the anime, right? Like just for the anime.
Right.
They're only like 2 years old. That's baby. That's fucking
Oh,
fresh out of the womb.
I understand, but it's the
I
new.
understand. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's a ton of source material. Obviously, Demon Slayer's got basically it's completed, to my knowledge, right?
It is. Yeah, it's over.
Yeah. Yeah. So the source material is completed there. So it has that. Jujutsu Kaisen's up to volume
It's
like 19 in the
in the
US.
states. Which
Yeah.
that
And then it's
manga's
on
coming towards an end sometime in the next year or so.
yeah. Well, and there's even more chapters out on Shonen too, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
and My Hero Academia is also coming to a close sometime soon
yeah.
too. Like
Yeah. So
that's
I get
also
that
winding
like
down.
I get that the source material is starting to wrap up for those series. I get it. But like for anime, like they're still pretty novice, I would say. They're
And what
still on
would
like
you?
amateur.
So you have Attack on
I
Titan.
have
What else?
Attack on Titan, My Hero, because I think
Okay.
I agree with you with the sense that like it definitely brought it back to the mainstream, and it brought I think it brought a lot of people who stopped watching back into it too, and it created like a new group of anime viewers. Whether or
Hmm.
not you appreciate them or not is a different argument, but it brought in like a new audience to
Yeah.
anime, which I appreciate. My third, I'm gonna say it's a little bit of like a homer pick, right? Like it's just got a
You're gonna
special place in my
stretch.
heart.
Can I take a guess as your stretch here?
Yeah, yeah, do it.
Haikyuu.
No, not Haikyuu. No,
Okay,
I
what
don't
is
think
it?
it's that much of a stress, really. JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
No, get the fuck out.
That is there is a cult classic in that show. It has got such a wide fandom,
That's why it's not part of the big three.
but it's
Cult classic. When it is out, nobody, not nobody, but it's not as appreciated when it's out when it's later released. Fucking season 1 of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure was how fucking long ago?
oh forever ago. Yeah, it's old.
Yeah, it's
It's old as shit.
no, I would argue against that, good sir.
I think JoJo's is fan frickin' tastic.
I'm not
I
arguing that.
absolutely love
I
JoJo's.
absolutely will not argue that. I am just
I
saying
just
that it is not part of the big three. That would never
I
be part of the new big three. It just isn't.
I don't know because in the goodness of my heart, I cannot put Jujutsu Kaisen or Demon Slayer there. I love both those series to death. Don't get me wrong. Like I think both of them are fantastic. We obviously differ on our opinions of Mugen Train for Demon Slayer. I don't think it's that bad. You think it's the steaming pile of poo poo rolling down the
It
tracks.
wasn't as bad as Tomodachi Game, but it was up there.
There's not many things that are as worse as Tomodachi Game, but it's hard for me at this point because while both Jujutsu Kaisen and Demon Slayer have the fandom and huge craze like in terms of like merchandise and all of that stuff, all the promotional things, like they have that huge push. What the hell?
God
Don't
damn
get
it.
me wrong. I you can't deny that. But in terms of the shows, like there's not enough out for me to definitively say no, these are a part of the new big three. I have no doubt in my mind that they will get there, but I could not at this point in time say with full confidence these are a part of the big three.
No, I
Because you
don't
have to
think that.
think, because think about it too, like why, like what made Naruto, One Piece, and Bleach the big three when they came out? Because like at the time you had Dragon Ball Z, you had Evangelion,
Well,
back then. I mean, you had
Dragon Ball Z came out in the late 90s.
it actually
Well,
started
One
in the late
Piece.
'80s, I
Well,
think.
yeah. It did, but it technically Dragon Ball Z is part of like Generation 1 Big 3 where it was that. Oh fuck, what else was a part of that generation? There were.
Like Yu Yu Hakusho, Inuyasha,
Yeah. It
all
was like
them.
I don't know if it was Yu Yu Hakusho or maybe Rurouni Kenshin, which I would gladly take Rurouni Kenshin off of any fucking list possible.
Probably
Yeah,
Inuyasha,
I would say
but
Inuyasha, Yu Yu Hakusho, and Dragon Ball Z were the original big three, and then you have the the juggernauts that were Bleach, One Piece, and Naruto that
yeah,
were the
like
big three.
the shonen, like they were the shonen
Yeah,
big three of the time, right?
yeah,
So now, yeah, I mean, it's hard, right? It's also we're
yeah.
just spoiled too. We have so many good shows, but
We do.
I'm gonna wait till the next Demon Slayer season comes out with the Swordman Village arc or whatever it's called. I'm gonna wait for JJK season 2 to come out. I think when those do and when they release, and if they're as good as the source material is, I will have no doubt in my mind that they will be the big three. But for now, gotta give it to the Joestar clan, the Joestar family.
You're a silly lad, you know. But
You know I'm a silly lad.
speaking of silly things, let's get into summer 2022 shows way too early rankings. Golly,
Woo!
because if there's something that people love, it's ranking shit, and if there's something that other people love, it's ranking shit way too early. Um, so we're week one. Week one, kind of two down in
Ish.
these. Yeah, I would say week two, just for the fact that some episodes are already on episode two, like Licorice Recoil. That show is great. That has two episodes, but yeah, no, I want to take a look at my anime list, look at the shows, and look at the rankings, and see if you agree, see what you've watched, and see what I've watched, and comment on it. Off the bat, number one, Made in Abyss, abso-fucking-lutely, hell yeah. No, like to me, I finally caught up on it because I kept postponing watching that third movie for so fucking long.
Mm-hmm.
Let me fucking tell you, that movie is gut. It's just a gut punch. It is so fucking miserably sad, but so incredible. If you haven't watched Made in Abyss, I'm not gonna spoil it because it's one of those shows that I don't want to talk too much about because of how good this show is. Like it is number one right now on Mal for the season, sitting on 8.76, and there's a damn good reason for that. I highly implore that anybody who's listening to this go watch the show, but be forewarned that it is kind of graphic, and not kind of, it is graphic in the sense of violence in kids,
Mm-hmm.
because it revolves around, for all intents and purposes, three kids, and just bad shit happens to them constantly involving this abyss. So with that, I cannot highly recommend this show because of how unique and how fucking good it is, and just everything about it is good. So yeah, number one, my Maiden Abyss, absolutely love it. Your show sitting at number two at an 8.29, Overlord season four. What'd you said you watched the first episode? What'd you think of it?
Yeah, I thought it was great. I thoroughly enjoyed the direction that they're going with it. It's into more world building. They set up the potential for it to really expand outward throughout the entire season, rather than just like random conquests of cities towards the end of a season, which seemed to be the formula in the past three seasons.
Yeah.
So I'm pumped. I think it's going to be a wonderful season. I'm a little worried they're gonna go more to like the humor comedy elements of certain relationships, especially with like Einzelgaun and the player basically being like, I wonder if I should treat everyone as equals instead of being their overlord
Yeah, I
that
think
I
you
am.
mentioned that last episode. So
Yeah. So I mean I don't mind the comedy things, but I hope it's, sprinkled like it used to be rather than, the kind of the main focal like kind of draw throughout the
yeah.
entire season. Cause I mean, it is when it is action packed, it is like utterly fantastic. Like it's got some of the coolest, most like gut wrenching scenes of fighting, especially the last season with the where he just basically strangles this girl by hugging her to death. Like it's got some nasty shit, but it's so much fun to watch. So I'm
Yep.
I'm pumped.
Fair enough. Uh, Sitting at number three, you have High School of the Elite season two, sitting at an 8.21. Season episode two. We're recording this on Monday, the 11th. I haven't watched episode two. It just came out today, so I have not had time before this recording to watch it. But I talked a bit about it last week. I absolutely enjoyed season one of this show. If you ask me, this is the absolute pinnacle of a better Tomodachi game. Tomodachi game is the bottom of the ladder. This is like at the top of the ladder. This is a death game with not real death stakes, more than like financial stakes, and hey, we're in this school, and depending on what classroom you are in is like how you're kind of treated in the school, and that like them being in the bottom class and trying to work their way up, and like gain more points so they can get more money to like survive in school without having to like take the freebie lunches and everything else. It's super interesting as to what lengths they go through and how they devise plots to get through the games that they're put through, or they're not games but quote tests. It's very very well thought out, and I'm really enjoying season 2. Looking forward to watching episode 2. But right under that at number 4 we have Call of the Night sitting on 8.02. You and I were both pumped for this. This came out late last week. Episode 1 was a banger.
Oh, it was
Absolutely a banger.
so good. I I know you were. I was interested in hearing your thoughts because I know originally you were worried about some of the animation bits being kind
Yeah.
of funky.
Yeah, I still think like I'm still worried about that a little bit, just for the fact that I thought the animation bit where they're introduced to each other, the main characters, where he's at a vending machine, she turns his head or her head, and it's like the weird shadow face thing. To me, that looked really kind of odd. But other than that, no, I thought they nailed it. They nailed the aesthetic. In one regard, they didn't nail the aesthetic. It's supposed to. So hear me out. I'll watch it when I have time, but the main time where I watch anime is at night when my fiance goes to bed and I can like watch whatever. So like I know that she falls asleep before I do, because that way I can, if I snore, I
It's
snore.
your
Whatever.
hentai time. Oh,
No, no, it's to make sure that I don't wake her, like keep her up because I snore or something. So I put this on, and her one complaint about me watching anime at night is, God damn it, that show is so fucking bright, Frank. What the hell? And it's like, I have the brightness turned all the way down. I don't know what you want me to do. I'm sorry. This show is actually, like, with the brightness all the way down. I thought I would have to turn it up. No, this was still, like, for being at nighttime, everything was still very vibrant and, like, bright and colorful, which the colorful part I knew was going to happen, but I didn't think it'd be as quote unquote bright, because it really is. If you watch the show in the dark, it's gonna fill up your freaking room with light.
oh, see, because I disagree with you. I thought that they nailed the aesthetics of the night perfectly. Like I I love the fact that just a plain night is like got like a purple hue to it. You know, it's dark, but it's not like pitch black, right? Like it still feels like night. But then when they did like color shifts of like yellow and like that like kind of like goldish hue at times, it was because there were like street lights and the vending machine light like expanding
Yeah,
off. So it made they made the environment sort of adapt to whatever was in the scene at the time, whether it was like the street lights or like a highway or whatever. Like I thought it was so perfectly done. I don't think I've ever seen an anime that will take place almost exclusively at night. Like every single episode will be 90% nighttime where the characters are interacting with one another. And knowing that, it's like, how do you build a world like that without it just being dark and dim? Because it's supposed to feel vibrant. It's supposed to feel like a nightlife. And I thought they just nailed it. The colors are so beautiful. Like
no, I
when
agree.
I first started and Ko steps outside, I was like, oh my god, this is gorgeous. Like
Oh
it's just
my,
so
oh
oh,
my, oh
oh
my
my goodness.
goodness. Anywho,
It's just so pretty. But
it
I
is.
thought the first episode started off on the right foot too. I was kind of worried that it might have like this weird stumble at the beginning of like it's about vampires and it's kind of like a weird like moving a little too fast-ish, but I thought they paced it
Yeah,
really well. I thought, they set up everything pretty well in terms of like, what to expect moving forward.
yeah.
So I'm in love already.
My last note before we move on to the next one is that, yeah, don't watch the intro to the show. Like in that intro, they have so many characters that I didn't even think would be in a part of season 1. And yet
Yeah.
they're in the intro. And I'm like, "Holy shit. They're
Don't
going to."
watch it, but listen, because the intro and the outros are both
Yes.
really good.
Listen to the song, but do not, for the love of God, watch the intro, just because it introduces so many characters that you're going to be like, when do they show up? When do they show up? And it's literally going
Yeah.
to be probably the end of the season. It's just like, oh, they're going to blow through this. Okay. I'm ready. But like, holy shit. Anywho, I'm impressed by episode 1. I'm looking forward to it. I think my dark horse for the season, which has just blown me away, like animation wise and just like intrigue wise, is Licorice Recoil, sitting at number 5 at a 7.92. This show, like, it's an original show by A1. Well, excuse me. And from like the sound of it, I was just like, this sounds okay or intriguing. I'm wondering what it'll be about. Episode 2 was so fucking good. I am in. I am so in on this show. This show is a joy. It's a treat. It's great. And I just go watch it. I don't need to I don't even want to explain what it is. Just the less you know about it, the better. So, yeah. And then there are other shows that, are near the top of the charts, but I want to skip down to number 11, which is When Will Yumu Make His Move? This is a manga that you and I have been reading. It's just a slice of life comedy manga about a boy and a girl playing shogi. They like each other, but he won't ask her out until he beats her at shogi, but he really sucks. So it's a good comedy. It's a good slice of
Eh,
life. Yeah,
it's cutie. It's very
yeah,
cute. I love it.
it is. It
I
is.
love it.
And yeah, there's a few more shows that I've been watching on this list, but we don't have the time to go through them. So we are going to move on to our last bit of news for the evening, which is, oh God, where the heck did I put it? Oh, here it is. Sorry, I was like, where in the world are my notes here? The last news story for the day: Death Note is getting another live action adaptation via the creators of Stranger Things, the Duffer Brothers. This comes from Matt Kim over at IGN. The Duffer Brothers have started up a new production company called Upside Down Pictures, which will help create more film and television projects with Netflix. Despite the name, Upside Down Pictures will create more than just Stranger Things shows and movies, and in fact, has already laid out a slate of projects the company will begin working on, including a new live-action adaptation of Death Note. Details of the Duffer Brothers version are sparse, but it will be a live-action TV adaptation of the manga and anime. It is also likely a completely separate series unrelated to the movie, which, thank the fucking lord, that movie was a trash heap. Does this do anything for you?
No, why would it?
Did
I
you watch? Do you like Death Note?
I no. I fucking hate. I think Death Note is garbage. I think the first half of Death Note is wonderful. I think the second half of Death Note is pure trash.
I haven't watched Death Note in probably close to a decade. I remember enjoying it a lot, but I've watched a shit ton of anime since. In fact, I actually hit 250 movies and TV shows completed via MAL. So, with Death Note probably being in like the first 10 or so of that, I'm wondering if I should rewatch it to see, if it still holds up to what I think about it.
It's not good.
I
It's
don't
really
know.
not.
Maybe. But I think if anything, this does a little bit for me, in all honesty, because with how the Duffer Brothers have handled certain timepieces in Stranger Things and wanting to get them accurate as possible, like in season 4 with the Satanic Panic and D&D being such a big thing and a scare for households across the country when it came out,
Hmm.
how they've handled that and how they've handled like actual D&D and it's like the way it's shown off and what it is, like it's been so good that it's been very accurate to the point where I think that they'll handle this adaptation accurately to the point where it'll actually be halfway decent.
Yeah.
But
I
at the same time, it's only time will tell, and I hope like hell you have to physically try to be worse than that Death Note movie, and I don't think they will. I think this will be much better.
the one thing I'll take away from this is that if the Duffer Brothers are getting into anime, granted it's live action adaptation, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm more interested in the fact that if they want to get into anime and they want to get into more of the Netflix original stuff, whether it's future projects or existing projects, I think that is like even more exciting than them doing Death Note. Like
Yeah.
I
But
thoroughly
here's
enjoy every single season of Stranger Things. I think the latest season was by and far the best one that
yep.
they've released. I have no doubt in my mind that they can do great projects, whether it's with existing material or new material for Netflix. The question is if they want to stay within the realm of like real, like sci-fi, similar vein of Stranger Things, or if they want to go into more anime and the animation style shows too. Like,
I
I
think
think,
that's opening a whole bag of worms that we don't have the time for, because you have to think, if they are exclusively making shows for Netflix, they have to have Netflix properties, which aren't a lot of
yeah,
anime. Like they still somehow have Death Note, but like the only other properties that they really have that I can think of that would be worth making something would be Evangelion, and there ain't no fucking way somebody in the next decade is going to touch that live action and think that it is a good idea.
they have a lot of originals too. I think that they could do additional seasons for or whatever. But all I'm saying is that if this is the Duffer Brothers' introduction into anime with Netflix, and if they're positioning themselves to do further projects down the line for Netflix in the realm of anime, I'm pretty excited. This does not do anything for me.
Okay.
This can, yeah, no, this can be left untouched. It should have died in its hole long ago when the whole emo edgy craze ended with anime. It just
It
needs to stay dead
but
forever
it
and ever.
but it didn't, because we got
Amen.
Tomodachi Game last season.
Stop bringing up Tomodachi Game. For the man with the fish brain, you sure do bring up the shittiest show ever
I know.
constantly.
Anyways, thank you all for joining us this week. We'll be back next week with more news, previews, and reviews. If you don't want the conversation to end, please head over to at Baka&Co or Baka and God. I need to restart this one.
You
Let's
want to
just
host Baka&Co? Head over to our Twitter and send in an application.
yeah, seriously, God, stumbling over my words. Please head over to at Baka&Co on Twitter, where you can join us on our Discord and give us your opinions, tell us why we were wrong, or give us sweet, sweet feedback on what you like and dislike. We record these episodes live on Mondays, sometimes Tuesdays, at twitch.tv/Frankfurter, and upload them on YouTube and podcast services on Wednesdays. So until next time, Spark Triumph, we'll see you then.